So talking about techniques and bass behavior, what are some things to think about seasonally to help people catch more bass?
You know what? I've written stories. I've sat down and talked in lengths with like Linder and Roland and a bunch of guys in fishing on how I break things down. When it comes down to what you're going after first. First of all, you got to figure out your species that you want to target. Then you got to look at the water. So I'm always looking at the entire water column, top, middle, bottom. Doesn't matter if I'm fishing for lake trout, bass, crappie, bluegill, catfish. I'm trying to find the body of water I'm going to do, and I go to simplistic. It's basically how I grew up in the fire department when we did brush fire fighting. I'm always outside looking at the mountains and looking at chimneys, draws. Which way does that fire go up? Where's a position that would kill us in a fire situation, right? And if you're smart enough and understand that that's a draw and that's a chimney and that's a spur and that's a ridge line and that's a flat, and this is where it clicked in fishing, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, that's everything that's under a water line. And then when you look at growing up hunting, you're always looking at where's the draw? Where do they feed at? Where's their sleeping zones? How's their ridge line? Where do they sit on the backside of the wind blown eddy? To smell. Like there's everything kind of morphed into fishing. So it's all relatable. I could talk to you guys about hunting and come up with stuff where you're going, holy crap, we didn't even think about it that way, and into fishing. But when it comes down to it, you want to be able to use a lure or look at a body of water simplistically. Every bit of the water has potential to catch a fish. Any shoreline bank, anything that you could add to the contour, the structure of that body of water is an added point value. It increases. So if you have a plain bank, it's 1. You could always catch fish there. If you walk down to a point, that's 2. That's a higher potential because you have a place where something's going to hit, run up a ridge line, come down, feed, everything else. If that point goes into a creek channel, it's a 3. So everybody that asks me is like, hey, what's the easiest? What do you do? Look at structure and cover elements, standard, what's under the water that's consistent. And then I go and I just look at the bait fish. What are they eating? What are they going to chew on today? Did they plant trout? Are they chasing trout? I'm going to put something that's matching the hatch. Is there a mayfly? I'm going to do that. If you get lost in fishing, go back to the basics. Pick up a spinning rod with a small hair jig. You can fit and go and find the best looking places along the body of water, from a golf club pond to a little river, anywhere where you go, oh, that's fishy. That's where the fish would stay. That's where they're going to eat. You start fishing, and it all comes down to time on the water. Just like you hunting, you become better when you become one of the land. You become part of it, and you can feel it. You can feel the pressure change, the wind change. You're going, oh, it's getting rut time. The deer are going to get up. They're going to start moving in about 20 minutes. The low light, the golden hour. Fish, everything does the same thing. And a big deer, honestly, when you look at it, you'd be a really, really big trophy deer. You could put that same pattern. If you put water over that entire place that you're hunting, big fish will almost exactly do the same thing. Come up to the same apple tree, the same time in the evening to get it, but know that they can escape quick because there's an escape route on the backside of it. It's all the same.
Those big game, any of them, turkeys, anything, they take and inhabit 90% of the game, inhabits 10% of the cover, right? I think those fish are going to be the same way. You got 90% of the bottom water, but 10% of it is going to hold the majority of the fish. And it's going to be around those structures and those